Hello and welcome to Acting 1. My name is Brian Heimbach. I'll be your instructor for this term, and what you're looking at is our Moodle page. So this video is intended for those who were not able to be there on the first day of class, or if you just want a refresher of how the course works. All this information I'm going to give you in this video is a repeat of what we talked about on day one. So if you're listening to this after that, you'll hear the same things. Or if you're listening to this before that, you'll hear this again in day one. But so this is for those who either missed it or just if you want review. Anyway, so again, my name is Brian Heimbach. Please feel free to call me Brian. Let's open the syllabus and we will start looking at what we're going to do in here. What was that? Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so here's the syllabus. Finally got it open. Here are my office hours. Please check the updated one. Don't assume that this is correct because I'm making this for future use too, so these may change from term to term. So there's my info. I won't bother reading the course description or the outcomes. You can look at those. But importantly, this is what you really want to know. Here's how you're graded. It's 20% for each one of these things. You're going to do your major performance in this class is a sonnet, a Shakespearean sonnet, and I'll talk about that more in a moment. So there's a written assignment for the sonnet that's worth 20 points. You will memorize the sonnet. That's worth, I should say, 200 points, 20%. You're going to also perform a scene, which will be part of your final performance. It's basically your sonnet and your scene are grouped together in one performance. And the scene memorization is worth 20%, and your scene written work is worth 20%. Scene written work totals, forget that, ignore that 50 points each. I don't know what that is. That's a leftover from something else. So for each of your performances, your scene and your sonnet, you will do a short writing assignment. All that is loaded up on Moodle. We'll look at that in a second. Yeah, memorization is a big part of being an actor, so that counts pretty heavily in this class for both your scene and your sonnet. Yeah, so that's the performance stuff. We'll talk about more of this, all of this when we get to the daily schedule. You do have reading assignments, although they're not factored in the grading here. Your reading assignments are loaded up in Moodle. There's nothing to purchase for this class, and they're clearly labeled here under each heading. Reading assignment 1, it's a 7-page document that I wrote myself. It's very straightforward. Reading assignment 2 is actually, there are 3 parts to it. So here's a chapter from a textbook, and there are 2 short videos to watch. And reading assignment 3 is a book. This book is a very short book. It's less than 100 pages. It's an extremely easy read. So those are the 3 things that you're reading for this course. Now, as I said, there's no place for these there's no place for the reading assignments within the grading structure. It's assumed that you're going to do it. If you don't do a reading assignment, you get points deducted from your final average. You will be getting a pop quiz for each one of your reading assignments. The way that the pop quizzes work is you come to class. I ask everybody to give me an example of a question that you would ask if you were giving the pop quiz, and then we pick out questions that will actually be the quiz from the course. So you make the pop quiz. They are very short. They take less than 5 minutes at the beginning of class. Now, If you don't do the quiz, like I say, you get, if you don't do the reading assignment, you get points deducted. However, things happen. If you don't do the reading assignment on time, you can make it up by giving me a handwritten or a typed outline of the entire reading assignment. Now, and you can get this to me by the last class meeting. You can take the whole term to get to it. Think of this outline that you're giving me as notes for things that you would want to remember a year from now from this reading assignment. I need to be able to tell that you did read the whole assignment from the outline, and if I can, you don't get those points deducted. So there's no reason to have any points deducted from your reading assignments. You're going to see 4 shows and write very short acting responses on them. Again, just like with a reading assignment, it's assumed that you're going to do this. If you don't, you get half a letter grade deducted from your final average. Here's all the information on the shows that you see. I'll talk about this more in a second, but you look at this document and it tells you the description of what you're supposed to write up. This is a kind of a wordy looking document, but the assignment is very simple. It's 150 to 200 words. You briefly discuss the level of the success of the acting of one of the actors in the show that you saw. You can use these questions to guide you through it. Remember, it's only 150 to 200 words. That is extremely short. So you answer things like, how clearly did they play the actions of the character? Was the actor's portrayal of the character unique? And what did the actor do that you would like to incorporate into your technique? That's my favorite one of these questions. So you use those as a guideline, but you're briefly discussing the level of success of the acting in the show that you saw, of one character only. You've only got 200 words max. That's not much. Some specific guidelines here that you can read. Please include a word count. Please try to turn it in within a week of when you see the show, otherwise you will forget it. Does not have to be formatted like an essay. No, you don't have the word count for an intro and a concluding paragraph. Think of it as a business writing assignment, which tends to be very concise. Please do not summarize the plot. That is a waste of your word count. You should assume that I saw the show. Remember, you're analyzing one person's acting, not the character or the playwriting. So you're discussing the work that the actor does, not the way that the character was written. And here's how it's graded. It's pretty clear. You can read these. So that is the acting response. I'll take these up until the last class period. We'll look at the daily schedule and there'll be more info about when to turn stuff in. So memorization is a big part of being an actor. It can be the easiest part, but I don't want to underplay its importance, so that's why it counts so heavily in your grade. Memorization is the only thing that you cannot earn points for up until the last minute. So you have 3 chances to earn points. There are 3 days set aside for each, the sonnet and the scene. If you have it memorized by full on the first day, great, you get the 200 points. If you're not memorized on that day, you go to the second day and you get to earn 150 points, or on the 3rd day you can earn 50%. After the 3rd day, the opportunity to earn points for memorization evaporates. So 3 days should be enough, and we take the time to do that. I do accept late work for everything except memorization. There's a maximum of 30 points deducted from written work if it's late. And so you can still earn a lot of credit for it, even if you don't turn it in to the last minute. I've structured this class so that you will not give up. Unfortunately, a lot of students, they just give up and say, oh, I missed that assignment. Oh, what the heck, let it go. Well, I don't want that to happen. I assign these reading assignments because I actually want you to read it. It's important that you do the written work. So I'm giving you every chance to do it and to earn points for it. A note about the way performances are graded. If you're not a professional actor, it doesn't mean you're not going to earn full credit for performing. As long as you are incorporating my feedback and you are fully engaged in your performance, you're going to earn full credit. That's all there is to it. As long as you make it through without breaking character and you're continuing to grow as an actor, you're going to get full credit. So don't worry about that. I mean, that's 20% of your grade right there that you're going to get full credit for. Yeah, you can find out everything about the written assignments on Moodle, which we'll look at in a second. Attendance policy, you got to be here. It's an acting class. You get 2 absences for free. And after that, each one is a half a letter grade deducted off your final average. However, be aware that I am an extremely reasonable person, and I know that stuff happens. So if there are reasons, you break a leg, your car breaks down, whatever, all I ask is that you don't disappear. Please let me know what's going on in your life, and I will do everything to make sure that you get through this course unscathed. So please, please, please don't just disappear and don't just give up. This is something might look weird to have on a syllabus, but it's an acting class. You are going to be in close proximity to other people. Please make every effort to smell good. And I include this because I have frequently had to say something to students about it. So just be aware of how you smell. A little bit about the performance space. This course meets in the Blue Door, and it's available for you to go in and rehearse many hours out of the day. So all you have to do is check with me or check with Marla, who is the administrative assistant upstairs and on the 2nd level. If it's locked, come in and get the key from either Marla or me if I'm in my office. However, if something else is going on, please don't interrupt what's going on in another class or during a rehearsal. And also, during our class, do not walk out of the room or walk back into the room when another student is performing. It's just rude, and you would want the same courtesy extended to you too. So go to the bathroom before class, and if you do have to leave, make sure it's during, not during when someone is performing, and wait for you to hear applause before you walk back in if you do leave. So that's the syllabus. It go away. Let's look at the daily schedule, and things will make more sense, I hope, as we wait for it to open. There we go. Where is it? So here is our daily schedule. Every class will begin with a warm-up, a physical and a vocal warm-up. So we will take the whole day on day 2 to look at what that means. There's a handout that you read. That's the reading assignment 1. So we already talked about reading assignments. Here's a first reading assignment due. So bring a draft of the sonnet written assignment and research to class. This means you take a stab at it. So there's a whole video describing that assignment, so I'm not going to go into that now. And then you bring it next class for your grade. And then we're memorized, and then we're memorized, and then we're memorized. And there's another reading assignment. I will be bringing in an improv guest artist. Now, please be aware, I mean, if you're viewing this and your schedule doesn't look exactly like this, don't worry about it. It's just maybe slightly different days. There will be 2 days that I bring in an improv guest artist. He's a great guy. You'll have lots of fun. We used to offer a dedicated improv class, but for many reasons we can't offer that anymore. And I know how much students love improv, and I'm not an improv guy, so I bring in an improv artist to work with you. Another reading assignment. You will be doing a scene from a play called Love and Information. That play is scene work. There's the whole text of the whole play. And here's the description of the writing assignment that you do. We'll look at that in a sec. Love and Information is a very abstract play. It does not have a plot. All the scenes are independent of each other. They are loosely connected by a theme, which you will discover as you do your research. So you have to fill in the blanks a little bit. You have to create some of the given circumstances of the characters. So we do scene work in class. You'll bring your written work. You'll be memorized, 3 days to do that. Now, on these days, on the first day we may take the whole class to work memorization, but on these days probably not. When we're finished working memorization, we'll just go back to working the scenes or possibly your sonnets. Keep working. We do sonnets for a grade, and if you turn in all of your acting reviews before or on our last official class meeting, you'll get some extra points added to your final average. This last class meeting is our final exam period. We look at your scenes for a grade on that day. We do something called self-evaluations, which is nothing for you to prepare for, so just don't worry about that. And you turn in all your acting reviews. Where was I? Oh, so to back up a little bit, on our third class meeting, we do something called personal monologues. The only thing that you need to do to prepare for this is simply decide what you're going to talk about. This is you taking 3 minutes to tell us about something important about you, something that happened to your life that helped shape who you are, something that helped you define your major, that it was a turning point in your life or something. Only reveal as much as you want to. I'm not asking you to reveal any deep, dark secrets. It's an opportunity for me to get to know you a little better. And it's also practice for doing a monologue, because you're standing up in front of a group of people, this group of people, talking. And that's what you do in a monologue. Now, you're not acting, and you're not memorized, certainly. I do not want you to write anything. I don't want you to prepare anything. I just want you to decide what you're going to talk about. Please bear in mind that it needs to be 3 minutes maximum. We have a lot of people in class and we have a lot to do, so don't pick anything that's going to take a long time. That's all you have to do for that little assignment, and I hope everything else is self-explanatory. So I do need to talk a little bit about the shows that you're going to see. At the bottom of your syllabus, it might look different from this, but there are a list of the shows that I have arranged for you to see for free in Eugene during our term. So let's get back to this. Acting responses. If you open this document, it's probably going to look different than this one does, but it is tells you about the shows. The shows you can see for free are at Lane, which you can see, anybody can see our shows for free. But I've also arranged for you to see shows at Oregon Contemporary Theater and the University of Oregon. Now, the way that works is the shows that you're seeing for free at those two places are actually, they're called previews. They're either the last or the 2 last dress rehearsals before the show opens. Now, if you can't go see the dress rehearsals, You can certainly pay for a ticket and go anytime. Shows run for, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So you can just go to their website and purchase tickets if you can't see the free one. You do not reserve tickets in advance for the previews for these free shows. You just show up. Take your student ID or tell them at the door, hey, I'm one of Brian's students, and they'll let you in. Now that's for the Oregon Contemporary Theater. There will be somebody at the box office. You may get a program, you may not, it depends. If you're going to take a friend with you to OCT, you should be prepared, that person should be prepared to pay $5 or so. But even still, that's a bargain to go see a show. Oregon Contemporary Theater is located on Broadway in between Olive and Charnelton. It's right down the street from the Jazz Station. There's parking on both sides of Broadway on Charnelton, 2 parking garages. Yeah, again, there's nothing to prepare for, nothing to show, nothing to reserve in advance. Their shows do start at 7:30. You must be on time. If you're late, they're just going to close the doors and you're not going to get in. Yeah, so that's the way going to. At Oregon Contemporary Theater, you can see the last 2 performances before the shows open. So that's always going to be a Wednesday and a Thursday because their shows open on Fridays. That's for any show, and I update this if this information is not appropriate to you because these are the wrong dates. The right information will be on this document on your Moodle page. University of Oregon is a little bit different. Number one, because their show started at 8 o'clock instead of 7:30. They just wanted to be cute, I guess. That was a joke. I guess there's a reason they did it that way. You can take everybody you want to a preview at U of O and nobody will know because there's probably not going to be anybody working the door. You will just walk into the theater and have a seat and see the show. You will not get a program, but it's free. So there you go. When you do see shows at OCT and U of O, please be respectful of the fact that they are letting us see their shows for free. Be careful of the amount of alcohol you drink before you go see a show. I mention this because in the past I had a student who drank way too much and embarrassed herself horribly and was asked to leave and didn't leave, and it was a bad situation. So please be respectful of the hard work that the company has done to put this show together and behave like an adult. It's a service they're doing us, and we're very grateful for it. Now, shows that you see at Lane are going to be free for you or anybody, so you can bring a friend. There is a way to reserve tickets, which I'll talk about more in class, and you can come to any of the performances. They always run for 2 weeks, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7:30, Sunday at 2. Please don't show up on a Sunday at 7:30 and expect to see a show. And then at the end of the term, we have what's called Acting Showcase, and it's scenes and monologues from the advanced acting classes. Again, that's free, but that is only one performance. Every other show that's listed here, regardless of how different it might look on your sheet from mine, is going to run for a few weeks. Acting Showcase is only one show. So you're going to see these shows, and you're going to write your acting review based on what you saw. So, and there's your, the description of the assignment. Here is the link to OCT, and here's the link to U of O that you can open. Now, if you want to see another show that's not on this list, that's fine. If you go to the Shakespeare Festival, certainly see a show. Other professional shows in town, at the Holtz Center, or other theaters in town like Very Little Theater or Actors Cabaret, sure, that's fine. I can't get you free tickets to those places, but if you're going, awesome. Shows that are produced by non-professional groups don't count. Anything at a college is fine. So if you go to another college, that's great. But things that are produced in like K through 12 or church groups, they are not acceptable for this assignment. Please go see them. Go see all the theater you can. But there does need to be a level of professionalism in the shows that you see to write your acting responses. So if worse comes to worse, and you get to the end of the term and haven't seen a show, here's two options for videos. Broadway HD, you can see Broadway videos. They cost $8 a piece. Kanopy is a video streaming service that's offered free to students from our library. You do have to have your library online login information to access those, but they're free. However, it is highly preferable that you go see a live show. So that's the course. That's what we're going to do. This last topic here is information that will be really useful for you to do your written work. And there's a separate video that explains that. So I think that's all I have to say, other than giving a plug to the Student Production Association. All the shows that are produced on campus, we produce a full production every term, is produced by the Student Production Association. What you're going to see is going to look weird because I'm the administrator of this page, so all this junk, is stuff you won't see. But join their Facebook page to find out everything about auditions that are coming up, about shows that we're doing. It's a great group. If you're interested in doing anything that's involved in theater, they are the theater company that produces all our shows. There are opportunities there are work study positions if you qualify for work study, and you can even get scholarships for being one of the board members. And we're going to talk about that a lot more in class. I just wanted to throw it in there. So that is the general information you need to know about this course. We looked at the syllabus, the daily schedule, talked about your writing assignment, the acting response writing assignment. While we're here, I'm going to go into depth about the sonnet work. Let's take I'm not going to do that now. So that's your day one intro. This is what we do in here. Please do not hesitate to ask me any question you have at any time about this course. Yeah, so I'll see you in class.